So, hello guys, welcome back to my channel. One of the most popular crossovers is now again on my channel. So what I have here is the 2023 Ford Territory Titanium. This is the base model of the Territory. So I did a somewhat full review and test drive of the Titanium X. Link of that will be in the description down below. So the reason I wanted to feature the base model because of this. I was even shocked when I heard about the price at the Manila International Auto Show during the test drive literally, because this one cost 1,335,000 pesos, a whopping 264,000 pesos less than the Titanium X. So I want to see if this is a little bit more worth it than the top of the line model, because you know me, I'm a sucker for base models. So exterior wise, everything looks pretty much the same to me, apart from one thing, the wheels. So you only get 18-inch wheels here, but for this base model, the wheels are curved compared to the 19 inches but a very straight alloy of the Titanium X. So as well here up front, I didn't talk about it much. Now seeing it much in depth and much up close than one in the Manila International Auto Show. Yeah, I love the looks now compared to the old one. Not gonna lie, I still like the old one because of its bulbous looks. This one looks more mature, and like what I said in the test drive of the Titanium X, this looks like a mini Expedition. I mean, just look at the side profile. I didn't even show you guys the side profile in the test drive review. Yeah, it looks a little bit more boxier, but a little bit more sexier. Maybe it's just down to this red color. And speaking of this red color, can avail this too in the base model. You cannot get this in the, weirdly, in the top of the line Titanium X. So despite being a base model, you still get LED lights all around. I love this check style LED DRL over here. Your main headlamps are down here, as well being the new Territory now too. So you get a 10mm increase. So this is now at 190mm. So no wonder when I drove this over the off-road part of the auto show, I had no issues whatsoever. So the grille here is probably my favorite part of the all-new Territory. It suits this character of the Territory. So like the previous one too, you get silver skid plates over here, as well on the side, on the bottom too. On the hood too, there's more character lines here and there, a little bit more wedges. So going back here on the side profile, this is what I like too with the base model. This still gets parking sensors all around, and it is 60-degree camera, as you can see here. So at the heart of this all-new Ford Territory, well, I already explained it at the auto show, but I'll do it again. And I even forgot, well, I didn't even have time to show you guys in the auto show, this has gas struts. I didn't even know that. So we'll have the same engine over here, a 1.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. Now being the 2023 model, you have 160 horsepower and 248 Newton meters of torque. So there's a little bit power increase too. So another upgrade too compared with the old Ford Territory. This one now is mated to a 7-speed wet type dual clutch transmission. Even the cover looks the same over here and there. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So here now at the rear of the Ford Territory Titanium, not the X, remember. Yeah, I do love the rear compared to the previous generation. And I even show you guys too at the auto show, there's an EcoBoost badge over here now. I love that additional touch. So you have fake vents over here, but at least it's not trying to mimic fake exhaust. But what I found out earlier, you have exhaust pipes underneath and they're dual too. Then you have the same Territory badge over here. And unlike the Titanium X, there's no X badge over here now beside the Titanium. And yet again, like what I explained at front, you get parking sensors all around despite this being the base model. So open the boot up. Here's another difference too. This does not have an electronic tailgate, but it's not that heavy. It's alright. So as well, there's no tonneau cover for this base variant, but at least the space here is exactly the same through all the variants. You have at least 450 liters. So of course, this being longer, taller, and wider than the previous generation, the boot capacity to increase. And if you fold all of the seats down, of course it doubles. And if you notice, the floor isn't flat, but it's not too bad. You have a halogen light on the left side, 2 cubby spaces on either side, and underneath here you have a space saver donut type tire. So that's about it here with the exterior, the engine, and the boot of this all-new Ford Territory Titanium. Let's check out the interior, where there are a lot of differences compared to the X model. So here now in the interior of this Ford Territory Titanium, Right, the major difference immediately visually when you get here is the instrument cluster. It's now 7 inches compared to the 9 that of the Titanium X. But at least for the infotainment system, it's still the same 12.3 inches. It's actually pretty stellar. I already demoed it at the auto show. But this time, I promise you guys, when I get to drive it, if I can, the Eco, Normal, and Sport mode and the Mountain mode, if that's available. Below here, you have your air conditioning controls and the oddly placed hazard button. Here in the door card, you have the blue materials here again with the wooden trim over here, cubby spaces and bottle holders on each side. My water jug fits here. You get electronic adjustments for both seats, if not mistaken. For this front passenger only, but there is no ventilation sadly for this base model. Then again, not needed because it's summer, but as you can see, it's raining really hard. Check out my stories. I saved it there. So going back to the infotainment system, what I like to with this base model, it still has the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto capabilities. And here on the left side, you have an air conditioning vent with the wooden trim. But below, there is no storage, extra storage here. And then here in the steering wheel, it's a flat bottom type with blue stitching all around too. Here on the left side, you have your cruise control functions only. You only can get the fully adaptive one in the top of the line Titanium X. And on the right side, like in the top of the line, you get your voice connectivity and your instrument cluster and other bits for the infotainment system, like for your volume controls and tuning knob. The tuning knob's right here below. So here in your center console, it's exactly the same too, like with the top of the line model. And I like the rotary gear switch now. Like what I said, it looks very similar to that of a British brand. So further back, you have an electronic park brake, auto hold function, auto start stop, parking sensors, and then further down, yet again the tuning knob and for your media for the infotainment system. And on the right side, you have cup holders, but I'd never noticed this. So open it up. So I was wondering where's the divider, but if you press this, it pops out. So now you can put your water jug or anything else with ease so it won't fly around. I like that feature. Never seen this kind of layout in any other car so far. And just above the rotary gear switch, you have a wireless charging pad. Again, fits my phone. Surprised too that this still has a wireless charging pad despite being the base model yet again. And then further behind here, you have a storage. Just fits my phone. And then open the center console box up. I love you can move forwards and backwards the storage space, but still the center console box is very deep and you can fit a lot of stuff there. And as well, the seats are leather too, but here in this base model, it is much darker than that of the X model. I'll just remove this plastic so you can see. I love it's still blue. It's not just the boring black kind. I was wondering why the left side of the dashboard is blank. But here on the right, just below your start-stop button here, I love when it illuminates, you have your headlight lever adjustments. So it's oddly placed here on the right side of the steering column. And then back here, I love the wooden trim here that stretches all the way to the right front passenger seat. There's another storage above here. You can put your phone. There's a rubber type thing so it won't fly around. And then glove box. It's decent, but at least it's wide. And then what else? Above here you have your light controls, sunglasses holder, but this time there's no controls for your panoramic moonroof. Then sun visor, you have a vanity mirror with a halogen light. I thought this was gonna extend, but the quality of it is really good, at least. So yeah, that's about here in front of this titanium model. Let's check out the rear. So here now at the rear of the all-new Ford territory. So since this being taller so this being taller, wider and longer than the previous gen, the space here improved. Feet room, knee room, excellent. And now without the panoramic sunroof, I have a little bit more headroom than that of the Titanium X, but make no mistake, the Titanium X still has excellent headroom despite having the moonroof. So here at the rear, the door cards almost exactly the same like the ones in front. Still fits my water jug. Then here behind both front seats, you have 2 map pockets. And then here in the center, you have 2 air conditioning vents and 1 USB port. I think that's exactly the same like that of the previous generation. And then here in the center armrest, you have again 2 cup holders. Fit my water jug at ease too. I'm not sure if my bigger water jug will fit here. Find out soon. So if I sit here now in the middle, there's no transmission tunnel at all. So it's a completely flat floor. You can fit at least 4 or even 5 people here if needed only. So as well here you have LED lights on each side. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention too in front. I just saw it now. Below the center console, there's an extra cubby space down below. There's 2 USB ports and a 12-volt socket. So, without further ado, let's go for a drive. FYI, this is the X model again because as you all know in the auto show, that was a very quick test drive of that. And I wanted more seat time again with the X model. Well, for territory in general because the titanium I featured and the titanium X will have the same driving dynamics, so why not let's drive this yet again. And of course I'll be having a lend out, I don't know where, only with the titanium X. I promise you guys to have a more full in detailed walk around for the interior and the infotainment once again. The interior is just a little bit better than the titanium, of course, as you can see all the light materials here and there. But let's talk about the driving dynamics a little bit more. So if you know from my Mia's run, I even forgot to adjust the driving mode. So but at least it was set at normal the whole time. So right now currently at Eco, seems pretty responsive too. And as well, this being a wet type dual clutch transmission, moving at a stop and go traffic, it's not jerky. I mean, you feel the lunge going forward and backwards, but it's not a unpleasant experience. It's alright. So just basically I acted like a manual transmission. From the previous territory, when you change driving modes, Eco, Normal, and Sport, I didn't notice much of the steering weight change. It was constant throughout. But now for this new one, so Eco, very light, Normal, so this is the mode I was using during at the auto show too. Sport weights up a lot, so I'm gonna leave it at that. And I noticed too, when you switch drive modes here in the Titanium X, remember, it changes the instrument class or the layout. So this will be exactly the same too in the Titanium variant, but albeit the Titanium has a 7-inch instrument class, it is much smaller. Mountain mode. Okay, so it looks the same. Like I'll leave it at sport mode, not at mountain. Yeah, at the mountain mode, I find it hilarious why it's needed in this type of vehicle, but then again, why not? I mean, it has the high ground clearance, and remember there was an off-road bit at the auto show. I went through them with ease too. So immediately I noticed too with the sport mode, it's much eager to move forward. Here it picks up a little bit better. Ooh, look at that. Okay, there's a little bit total delay, but you'll get used to it. It's not so bad. Okay, let's put you back to Eco. A lot of people say when you drive dual clutch transmission, they tend to get jerky, but not this one. I mean, not the same with all kinds of cars that have wet type dual clutch transmissions. They're pretty good compared to the dry type ones. So here's sport mode. Okay, so I noticed too in sport mode, it tends to hang on the gears a little bit longer than usual, but gets going pretty quickly too. So let's calm down, let's wait for an open road. So here back to Eco. The delay now is much more noticeable. I mean everything, the throttle, the transmission time. I mean, but it picks up pretty well too. I don't feel the gears shifting up and down. That's what I like too with this transmission. It feels pretty seamless. I mean, you don't hear it. Well, I mean, the transmission shock here in the cabin, you don't hear like a thud, like boop, boop. It's pretty seamless. This is really good. Okay, now I'm falling in love now compared with the old one. I see why, of course, for territories, even the old ones were so popular in the first place. Now would I want one over the old one? In this test drive alone, I'm gonna say yes. So I can't wait to get my hands on this for a longer while. I mean, when I get a lend out very soon. Right. Mountain mode. Okay, I'll just start here for experimentation only. Oh. Okay, Eco mountain mode. What I noticed only from this test shoot, tends to short shift a lot. So yeah, it goes gear hunting mode. Yeah, that's another thing with dual clutch transmissions with a lot of gears in there, but this one's only being a 7-speed, it will shift down pretty quickly too compared with the 10-speed. That's just based on my experience. I've yet to drive the Ford's popular 10-speed transmission for a longer while, but I keep driving the 6-speed and this dual clutch transmission. Alright, put you back to sport. The brakes, not that squeegee, it's alright too. And yeah, brakes are pretty sharp too. It's just a little the travel is just a little bit long, but you get used to it. It's, to be honest, it's just like every other crossover too. The handling now in sport mode, there's much more weight. The previous one, so, but as a daily, that's why it was popular too, because it was easy to drive. Make no mistake, this is very easy to drive too. Just something I noticed compared with the old one too, you have to watch out with the length of this car, because as I said, it's much longer than that of the previous generation. And then NVH, more or less the same or just a little bit better than the old one. And here, look, rough patch of road, at slow speeds only, just waiting for an open road again. So here, let's go over the metal sheet. Very good with the NVH, you will love this. Suspension wise, okay, comparing with my favorite crossover at the auto show, you already know what it is because I kept promoting that car like crazy. This is more on the comfort side of things, comparing with the compact crossovers. I mean, there's somewhat sporty nature to it because of the transmission and the power alone. Yeah, I would definitely drive this over that car in terms of what a daily use, but the other one in terms of the sportiness. That's what I like with both crossovers. To be honest now, if I had a little bit more seat time compared with the other crossover that I like, the Italian looking one, this would have been my top 2. I mean, it's in my top 2, but this could have been number 1 if I had more seat time. So if I drove it back to back now, yes, this would have been my top 1, hands down. So as well, being the Titanium X, again, what I'm driving now, compared with the Titanium, is the base model worth 264,000 pesos less. I would say still, yeah, not much features have been removed. I just put all the safety features what's available in this Titanium X model. It's not so bad. I mean, the infotainment, you still have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, still a pretty complete package, I have to say. Of course, being the X model, that's what you pay for too, the panoramic sunroof and the bigger instrument cluster. I'll be very honest, I'm not a fan of the very small ones of the Titanium base model. So here, sport mode. Yep, it's much eager to move forward now. And then that's the Ford collision warning doing its thing. And then overtaking would be easy. Wow. Alright. Yeah, sport mode just transforms this car just like that. In eco mode, yeah, you'll definitely feel it gear hunt. It's low speeds, but here, just float again. Very good. So, probably the best mode for this, for territory in general, will be normal mode. Because as well, that's what I set it at the auto show. And I didn't demo it that much with the other modes. So, mountain mode, hopefully I'll demo that on a land out. Hopefully they allow me to go, not so heavy off-road, but off-road, just like dirty stuff. Fuel economy, only a short test route here at around Makati, Pasong Tamo, so it's not fair to give that fuel consumption. Hopefully yet again on the land out, I'll give a more in detail on the fuel economy very soon. But for now, yeah, probably the best compact crossover in our market today. Yeah, Ford always ticks the box with basically everything. So that concludes my sudden review of the lineup again, the Titanium and this test drive of the Titanium X. So I'd like to thank again Makati Ford, they're on the summer theme right now, Miss Sharon and Sir JC over here for assisting me in this test drive. Their contact details are here and in the description down below. So hope you guys like and subscribe, and I will see you with another special video coming right up at Makati Ford. Bye bye.